As I go through my old games looking for my next review, I came to the realization that there's a lot of great classic games just kind of pass me by. For example, I was thinking about doing a review of Metroid Dread, and then I realized, hey, what about Super Metroid? It's a game that I played but never finished. I would wonder why, because I remember enjoying it, but for some reason I would leave it and go somewhere else. Well, I decided to finally complete this game and give you my full honest thoughts on it. Ever since its debut in 1986, Metroid has become one of Nintendo's cornerstone franchises. While not on the same level as Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon, the series has managed to carve out its own niche. As far as I could tell, there really hasn't been any really bad Metroid games. Some are not as good as others for sure, but I've never heard anything like, oh, this game is a drizzling shits, or anything like that. But I suppose that's all subjective at the end of the day. Also, Metroid games do not come out as often as other Nintendo franchises, so when one does hit the scene, it's considered a pretty big deal. Another thing too is that this game is an early example of having a lead female protagonist with Samus Aran. There were others for sure that came out before, like Miss Pac-Man I guess, but Samus was just so cool. Not to mention as a whole, this is a darker franchise as compared to other Nintendo ones, which makes sense because the movie Alien was one of its greatest influences. And now we come to Super Metroid, or Metroid 3 as some may call it. Now the first one came out on the original NES, while the sequel came out on the Game Boy. That got its own remake a couple years ago. Well, without any further ado, here's my review of Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. Although technically I played this game on my Nintendo Switch, for convenience sake. Don't judge me. Here's a review. Super Metroid opened shortly after the events of Metroid 2. Samus Aran, who is an intergalactic bounty hunter raised by a race of birdmen called the Chozo, which is a story for another time, is on a mission to rid the universe of these dangerous aliens known as Metroids. Metroids have the ability to drain and feed off the life force of living creatures, resulting in death of the victims. The energy from them can also be distracted, making them a powerful energy source. Samus was able to wipe them all out except for a small infant that imprinted itself onto her. She makes her way to a space colony so that the research can be done on it, but as soon as she leaves, she receives a distress call from the base. As she returns, she finds that all the scientists are dead, killed by the hands of Ridley, a member of the Space Pirates. Ridley steals the baby Metroid and starts a bomb that destroys the colony in which Samus barely escapes with her ship. She tracks Ridley to the planet Zebus, which has become the new pirates' base. Samus must fight through their forces, defeat the pirates and their leader Mother Brain in order to take back the baby Metroid and save the universe. Super Metroid is an action open-world adventure, where you have to travel deep down through the planet. Now, when you start off with Samus, she can run and jump, which are basic stuff, but she has the ability to shoot in multiple directions. Also, when you press down on the shoulder button, she can run by holding up her arm cannon at an upward angle. Neat! When you blast enemies away, they can leave things behind like health drops. Like many games back then, when you leave a room and come back, the enemies automatically respawn. While there will be times where that gets really annoying, other times it can become a blessing in disguise, specifically when you're running low on energy and you need to farm to get extra health drops. The ultimate goal as you play is to obtain new abilities. Your base form can help you get started, but to take down the heavyweights, you will need all the tricks of Samus's trade, such as collecting missiles, the ability to morph into a ball, the ability to jump while in morph ball form, dropping a bomb in morph ball form, firing more powerful green missiles, powerful bombs that can do nuke screens, speed boosters, grapple beam, gravity suit, and reserve tanks for more energy, and the trademark screw attack! Honestly, this is the most fun element about this game. It is always a treat watching Samus get stronger as the game goes along. It does bring up a bit of a plot hole in this series, however, because at the start of every new game, she's right back down to her base form. Where did all her upgrades go? The other M did try to explain this, but it was pretty dumb, so let's move on. The pause menu allows you to see the map where you can get a better gauge on your surroundings, and you can also keep track of your suit upgrades. But I will admit, there is one maneuver in Samus' arsenal that I never really could master, and that was her wall jump. I mean, I watched YouTube videos, read walkthroughs online, and at best, I was only hit or miss with it. Yeah, sometimes it works, and sometimes it got really, really frustrating. Again, the big element of this game is the open world aspect. With the X-ray beam, you can locate areas that you can destroy in order to unlock new paths. This is the main way to find hidden items to stack up and gain these new abilities. That leads to what is the most frustrating part about this game. Super Metroid is very much a where the hell do I go and what the hell do I do kind of a game. As Bill would say, you have to exhaust every option. Look down and low and everywhere in between in order to locate places where you can go through. Sometimes you'll have to backtrack and then backtrack again and then backtrack some more. Make sure to keep an eye on your health while you're at it. This game will not hold your hand, and I get it. It's a part of its appeal, but make no mistake about it, this game will make you work for it.
That's cheating.
I really enjoy the dark ambience that Super Metroid delivers. It feels like Samus is journeying through hell and back, from the volcanic underbelly, eerie laboratories, outside landscapes clouded in darkness, and all sorts of chilling places. The atmosphere in this game is magnificent. Despite that, however, the game still has a lot of bright colors, and Samus moves around very nicely thanks to her fluid controls. Great stuff for the 16-bit era. The sound effects are just a hoot, because being an old-school Godzilla fan, I can recognize speed-up kaiju roars when I hear them. The music is also just classic. Not only does it fit the atmosphere of this game, but it's also very memorable. When I took down Mother Brain and completed this game, my thoughts were that I could see why this game is so revered. Like so many sequels that appeared on the Super Nintendo, it took what worked so well in the original and just upgraded it with great visuals, better controls, and more expansion of the lore. In the same box is games like Mega Man X and Super Castlevania 4. Now, with that being said, this will certainly not be for everyone, as again, this game will require patience, as you need to uncover every nook and cranny in order to figure out where to travel in order to reach your next destination. Super Metroid is super retro in that fashion. I've said it before that if Tomb Raider debuted on the Super Nintendo, it would probably play similar to this game, and like Lara Croft, Samus Aran has earned her spot as one of gaming's top female leads. Coming from someone who's a casual fan of the series, I can say that Super Metroid is worth checking out for those who crave a good retro challenge, but a very satisfying one. And there you have it, my review of Super Metroid. You know what? I think I might stick around the Super Nintendo era. Wonder what other games I could look at.
Honey, put the cat down.